Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back. I got this idea not too long ago. What if Naruto was trapped in Purgatory for 3 years? A premise of similar origins to Supernatural, the series, but with a twist. It was a long concept that was written out. I wrote it down some time ago, so thank you for the idea. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this and you want to see part 2, just go ahead and comment down below and tell me, and I'll be posting it as soon as possible. Don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 more channels which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting more time, let us begin this now, guys. We begin this episode at the office. The office of Konoha. Senju Tsunade sat behind her desk. The place was quiet. Mission reports lied on the table. Mission requests, assignments, village matters. However, even after 3 years, most times, she simply regrets. Maybe it's because he was tied into the very reason why she came back. He gave her hope once again when he refused to give up. He reminded her of the part that was strong. But they lost him. Naruto Uzumaki. He possessed Dan, determination, Nawaki, unwavering kindness. But now, even he was gone. She had sent search parties, mobilized so much shinobis. Jiraiya had tore through the elemental nation like a man possessed, chasing whispers and rumors. And it was killing him. Even after all these years, it was killing him. Every hope made it worse. Every feeling of finding him made things worse, because they all turned out to be false. Yet there was nothing. No body was found. There was no trace, no blood, no scent. He was just gone. The great battle that decided the fate of one Sasuke Uchiha. She sent the team, believing that they would come back, refusing to believe that anything would happen other than their victory. But while the others returned, not only did Sasuke Uchiha left the village, Naruto Uzumaki was never found. Meanwhile, Jiraiya, he leaned on the stool as he relaxed. Another failed attempt. In front of him, there were several bottles of sake. He had dubbed himself a failure a long time ago. He failed to achieve much in this world. He failed to get the girl that he was in love with. He failed to be there when Minato took his final breath. Not only that, because of his own feelings, he failed to be there to be a true mentor, a true godfather to his own godson. He scoffed. The great Toad Sage had prophesied that he would be the one to train, the one that would change the world. First he thought that it was Nagato, but that boy died. Then he met Minato. It was him. He knew it was. But then he died. And then he truly met that boy, Naruto Uzumaki. He was everything the both of them were, with some. He told himself that this was it. He was the boy. But once again, he failed. No body, nothing to show his death. The mere fact that he could not find Sasuke, Uchiha, or Orochimaru to learn what happened that day, because the Uchiha might be the only one to truly know the truth. However, most had accepted the truth that was hanging in front of them. Naruto was dead. Orochimaru probably sent some of his accomplices to take the corpse. If not that, he was still alive and being tortured. The worst part, he was a Uzumaki and the nine-tailed Jinchuriki after all. And yet here he was, after a relentless search. Nothing. Nothing, he thought to himself. The bartender came over towards him. Even though the man's job was literally selling alcohol, it might be a bit too much. This man was trying to leave me alone, Jiraiya said. He wanted to, suffer in his own self-loathing. He believed that he deserved it. He was not the only one though. Sakura Haruno had pushed herself incredibly hard over the last couple of years. Even now as her fists struck the wooden post, obliterating it. Every now and again memories surface. She made him promise that he would bring him back, and now because of her fist lashed out and struck another. Damn you, Sasuke. The words left her lips. At first, she defended him. She told everyone Sasuke wouldn't do that. Sasuke couldn't do that. There has to be another explanation. But as weeks, months, and then years went by, they all knew Naruto Uzumaki would never abandon Konoha. He would never run away. If he was gone, someone took him. And Sasuke was the last person to see him alive. Kiba had said it first. Sasuke killed him. You know that, Sakura. She had shouted at him, telling him to shut his mouth. Over the next months, she was on the outs with her friends, refusing to talk to them. However, the doubts started to creep in. What if they were right? What if Sasuke killed him and they took his corpse away? She tried and tried and tried to deny it. The first thought that came to her mind was this would destroy Team 7 forever. And it made her wonder, what kind of horrible person was she for that to be her first thought? She should be concerned about Naruto, and yet she was trying to justify Sasuke's actions. Was she truly blinded by her love for him? Things like that made her on outs with some of the rookies that graduated, especially with Hinata. Yes, she sighed as she proceeded to sit down. She gazed up towards the heavens. She just didn't know anymore. She wasn't the only one practicing. Meanwhile, she went through the formations. It was perfect. The synchrony, the movements. She refused to believe the reality at first. There is no existence where Naruto Uzumaki could die. He's been through so much. He was her love, he was her crush. He was everything that she had that inspired her to be better. But 3 years was a lot. The light that was inside of her, the kindness that he brought out. Before she was just shy, awkward. But he had something that showed her even she could make it. Even she can rise above it. Especially when he stood up, defending her and defeating Neji. For that, she felt a piece of her feeling some sort of victory from it as well. However, knowing that if someone like Naruto could vanish from this world, a part of her died Kiba tried to reach her. Shino, Kunai, they all tried to pull her from the edge. But she did not want to come back. The world had taken Naruto away. The world was a cruel, wicked place. At first she thought there was some salvation. At first she thought there was some reason to believe that this world was a just, rightful place. But it was no longer. She focused on other things, mostly training. It changed her. She lost her temper on a mission. She paralyzed a man without hesitation. At first she felt sick to what she did, knowing that he would have to live the rest of his life like that. However, he was trying to kill her. Why should she feel bad? The more time went on, the more she realized that the world was not a good place. And if she continued on like this, she would be swallowed by it as well. Thus, that had started the change. And the others had tried to reach her, but she didn't want to be reached. She threw herself over the edge because she didn't want any of them to catch her. She wanted to break free of the weakness that she was a part of. And she believed that after all these years she had. But even with that, a new sense of strength, what did she have? Nothing. Everything seemed pointless because she gave up on believing that the world could ever be fixed. As she struck the post, Neji Hyuga watched. Naruto Uzumaki had been the one to change him. He was arrogant, only believing in fate. However, it seems like he didn't want to say it, but was Naruto Uzumaki fated to die? He's seen just how much everyone has changed because of this death. And it wasn't even everyone from the village. Standing proudly as a Kazekage, Gaara would have one day hoped to shake hands with Naruto Uzumaki, the Hokage of Konoha. But as things are now, that didn't seem like it was ever going to happen. However, just like before, just like with every death that was close to him, Kakashi Hatake isolated himself. Obito, Ren, Minato, Kushina, all of them, Naruto was a part of that. To believe that his own student had done it to his own comrade. He didn't know what to think. He didn't know what to do. He isolated himself. A part of him becoming cold once again. A part of him that the three students have brought out that was covered by so much pain. Kakashi spent the last couple of years burying his emotions once again, becoming that ruthless man that once walked the earth. While that was going on though, Sasuke Uchiha jumped up, sweat coursing down his face. He gripped the sheet. He was older, stronger, within the residence of Orochimaru, training to avenge his clan to kill his brother, and yet ever so often this dream came back to him. Flashback to the dream. It was the Valley of the End. Chidori, crackle, Rasengan roar. The two beams of light struck. However, something abnormal took place. It was like the world had been slashed. Like a wound had opened up. Sasuke couldn't understand it or explain it. However, the strange power of the curse mark seemed to twist with Naruto. Fox power. But Naruto was on the receiving end. The world behind him opened. Sasuke, watch as Naruto looked terrified, reaching out. Sasuke, help me, he said. Sasuke reached out and gripped the hand. But as he tried, the force was too much. He tried to grip it once again, but he fell, still in mid-air. He watched as Naruto was sucked away. End of flashback. He was now 16. That was over 3 years ago. He could have stayed behind. He could have tell someone what he saw, but instead he went away. He even had questions for Orochimaru, but the Sannin had no understanding other than a small little inkling of residue energy. Orochimaru curse mark was very special. The way it was created, but the energy from the curse mark and the nine-tailed chakra seemed to have done something that he couldn't explain. Whether the boy was still breathing, well, if he was, he would have returned a long time ago. Maybe he was just dead. Orochimaru had said it so casually. After all, Sasuke should not care about anything within Konoha anymore. Yet, the answer gnawed in his chest. "Where are you, Naruto?" he said. "Where the hell are you?" Time skip. It's been 3.5 years since Naruto's disappearance, when something started to happen. It began on one of the special mountains near Kumo. It was the highest peak. A surge of energy, wrong, opposite, suffocating. It rippled across the elemental nation. Shinobis in the vicinity clutched their chests. An overwhelming sensation of dread. Animals. It seems like the life was sucked out of them. It didn't stop as it spread. At Konoha's snare they blink, her heartbeat quickening. What the hell? Jiraiya paused long enough as he put away the safe bottle. What is this? At Mount Miyaboku, the natural ear itself felt like it was being torn apart. The great elder toad snapped both of his eyes open as his heart felt like it was about to explode in his chest. He's felt and seen evil of this world. But this, what the hell is this? Meanwhile, space started to scream and tear open as an unnatural force. It bled red, black lightning, and pulse of malicious energy as something forced its way out, pushing through. It kept on pushing and pushing and pushing until it shattered the veil. Finally, however, it wasn't alone. 3 strange smoke flew in opposite direction, screaming across the elemental nation. The rift unstable as the person that stood there turned boom. An explosion had the Raikage immediately move into his window. Wasting no time, he smashed through it, moving to the highest peak in his village. He could see the smoke from the distance. Fearing an incoming attack, he moved towards the back centers of the village. What he saw, though, was the highest mountain eviscerated, along with several others nearby. He was confused. What the hell was this? Days later, a man stumbled through the wilderness, his clothing torn, stained, and dirty. Strange, new pieces of clothing around him. He moved, the cloak that he was wearing bellowing in the wind. Where am I? He looked around, using his nose as he tried, but he could not smell any of them. Finally, he arrived to a puddle. He collapsed to his knees. He looked at the water, surprise on his face. His hair so long it covered most of it. He reached down and looked at the water, pure, clean. Immediately, he started to drink. His blue eyes widening in shock. He couldn't believe it. Where the hell am I? He said, looking around. Nearby in the forest, a girl was screaming, "Please, let me go," she said. Rough dirty hands grabbed her. 5 men as they dragged her towards the caravan. "Shut up," one of them said. "You'll fetch a good price. Stop making this difficult." Another one sneered at her, "No one is going to come and save you." They start to pull her away. However, a voice spoke up. "Let her go." They turned as the dirty man was standing there, the water still dripping from his hand. Looking towards him, one of them scoffed. "Look, bum," he said. "Do yourself a favor and leave this place." However, the person refused to move. One of them stepped up as he pulled out a dagger. Immediately the eyes of the man that looked so unnatural to this world now snapped towards the dagger as he watched it. There was something wrong in his eyes, a look of uncertainty, an unnatural gaze as he looked towards the weapon, a strange twisted hunger. The girl barely saw what happened, but she saw glimpses. One moment he was standing a few feet away, the next moment the bandit was in the air as the person was holding him by the throat. Without hesitation, he shoved his hand through his chest. Ribs shattered, bones collapsed, blood exploded. The stranger then released him, looking surprised, as if he was surprised by how weak the flesh was. The others froze. You killed him." Instead of doing the rational thing and running away, they decide to use their numbers against him. He reached for something behind him. The girl saw it. She could only describe it. It was like a bone, yet carved into a blade, jagged edges, with strange cracks running through it, that was pulsating unnaturally. The first one had his head removed. Blood sprayed all over the ground, leaving her shocked. The third moved in, jumping as he swung. A small little tonto. It shattered on the bone blade like it was made of glass. The young man's hand lashed out and gripped his eyes. Yes, he reached and gripped into his eye sockets, using his head like a coconut as he smashed it into the other one that tried to attack him from behind. He wasn't done though as he grabbed their skull and pressed it against each other until they popped. He cracked their skull into each other. The last one, finally having some common sense, ran. But he bounced into the man that was now in front of him, speed that the girl could not see clearly. He dropped to his knees. "Please, don't, I'm big." He couldn't get to finish as the young man feet went through his mouth, stuffing it in there, cracking his jaw. He pressed down until the lower half was completely decimated, crushing down until there was no life left. Blood stained him. The fresh blood had him sniff, his eyes twitching as he did. He stood there for a long moment, simply looking at the fresh blood. The girl, realizing that he might kill her as well, moved. It was like a split-second reaction. His eyes snapped towards her. "Please, don't kill me," she said. She closed her eyes, but she felt nothing, so she opened them. He was so close to her. She felt an unnatural heat coming from him. He struggled to talk. "Where am I?" he said. "What? Where am I? Where am I?" he said. The elemental nation. The border of the elemental nation. He cut her off. "This place. I'm back here. Are you okay?" she said. trying to make sure that she didn't get on his bad side. He got to his feet. "Wait! You saved me," she said. "I'm not the only one. There's a group of them. They've kidnapped people from the surrounding villages. They're selling them off." He looked towards her. It just slipped out of her mouth. No one could find the, well, special organization. They dealt with high-tier clients. Where? She didn't expect that he would help her. I don't know. Somewhere in the foothills. Over there, she said, pointing towards the hill region. He started to walk away. Are you gonna help them?" "Yes." His answer to her question seemed strange. Almost like he didn't want to, but yet he was going to. Who are you? What's your name?" she said, realizing that he's not a bad person, even though he just slaughtered those men. Yes, they were monsters, but it was the way that he did it that scared her. He looked unsure. For what seemed like 10 seconds, he stood there. Uzumaki. Finally, as he stepped back, his hair moving aside, his blue eyes, his whisker face. Naruto Uzumaki, he said. With that, he vanished away, a speed that she couldn't keep up with. Meanwhile, he found the location. They were well covered, protected, and yet he found them. The building was large, deep underground. Ravines and specialized ninjas surrounding outside. Unfortunately though, every last one of them were slaughtered. It was a massacre. On the inside, you had some wealthy people. People that run underground businesses. People that delighted in these kind of things. Viewing humans as nothing but cattle to them. Their money and their influence, keeping them off the radar. He stepped inside as he was noticed by one of the guards inside. His attire, throwing everything off as everyone was well dressed. He placed his hand on the door, as a strange mark seemed to rest on it, as he drew his bone weapon. Everyone turned their gaze towards him as one caught the attention of several others. He sniffed the air. It is almost like he could taste the corruption. What followed was screams. A lot of it. Time skip. Despite his wallowing in his self-pity, he was still Jiraiya of Konoha. A few days ago, there was a strange wave of energy spreading over the elemental nation. Even the toads had called him to discuss the disturbing event. The great elder toad could not make sense of what it was, but the toad was uneasy about it, saying that it was something that it has never truly felt before. Jiraiya, like many others, went to investigate. And now there was a reporting of a massacre. Jiraiya arrived there days later. The blood was still stained on the ground. There was over 100 plus killed, brutally so. However, due to his rather advanced way of gathering information, Jiraiya knew that most of these people were dabbling into something horrible. As wicked as this might seem, it seems like these people were on the wrong side of humanity. However, something caught his attention as he was listening in. You know who did this? A girl questioned her friend. Yes, he saved my life. He's strange. He has long hair. It's blonde but like a bit gray at the same time. He has a beard. He looks terrifying. But he saved me. I thought I wouldn't make it. And you think he did this? I told him that, There were many others that were captured. I think he did come here and do this, she said. She looked around as she was there with several others. Jiraiya took what she said. However, what she said next though, he said his name was Naruto Uzumaki. Immediately he spun around, so fast that the girl almost tripped over herself. She was afraid. What did you just say? He had to calm her down, assuring her that he meant no harm. When she repeated the name, he asked her several other times. He questioned her about the features. She never really saw that close to his face, but she saw the dirty hair and the bluish eyes. Jiraiya looked towards her. She couldn't understand the look. Pain, grief, compassion, she didn't know. Meanwhile though, Naruto stood on a cliff, overlooking the wilderness. His body trembled as he gripped his chest and tore his shirt open. There was a strange mark on his arm that started to spread, veins going over his skin. He bit down hard before he roared. The entire creek, the entire place shook violently as all the animals in the vicinity ran off, terrified, extremely so. He then proceeded to collapse down to his knees, the mark slowly receding as he took several deep breaths. As he proceeded to pass out, the event that led him back to this place finally catching up to him as he was blacked out cold. Time skip. Jiraiya decided to keep this to himself. He couldn't tell Tsunade or anyone else just yet. He's brought them so many leads, so many disappointments. So he decided to keep this to himself for now as he went on the hunt. For the next couple of days, Jiraiya followed, tracking everything within the vicinity. Footprints, scents, broken branches, displaced stones, everything that followed this path. Jiraiya moved through the wilderness, following as he headed north, refusing to stop. He arrived to the mountain region where Naruto was, where he had let out that scream to the world. Jiraiya saw something strange. The ground seemed to have collapsed in on itself in a way that seemed something had applied pressure to the ground, but it was strange. And the air itself felt so saturated with energy. But this wasn't any energy that he ever felt before. Could all of this truly be Naruto, he thought to himself? While that was going on, now 16 years old, believing that he's grown powerful enough, Sasuke Uchiha descended upon Orochimaru, butchering him where he stood. Orochimaru tried to take control, but he failed. Kabuto rushed in to see his master torn apart on the ground, lifeless. Sasuke had taken over, forcing Orochimaru into his own consciousness, showing the true depths of his power, even without physical attempts. Kabuto tried to do something. However, Sasuke looked at him with a simple gaze, which dropped him on his ass, showing him that he was nothing compared to him. Kabuto was left, staring at his master's lifeless body, wondering, what should he do now? However, something started to happen. The air grew thick with tension. Something came down the hall, a mass of darkness. Red lightning shrieking. It flew past Kabuto and forged itself into Orochimaru's corpse, stitching itself back together. His lower half returning, his body seeming to regenerate. Kabuto was stunned, flesh knitting back together, blood being siphoned back into the wounds that were sealed shut. Kabuto stepped back, shocked. Was this his master's doing? Then why? Why did it feel so wrong, so unnatural? Orochimaru pulled himself up, as his gaze was focused on the ground, his feet stabilizing where he was. Kabuto immediately got to his feet. My lord, you're alive. Orochimaru turned. Yes. Yet his voice had this thick tension behind it, like it was overlapping with something else. I am. This body will do nicely. My lord, Kabuto said. The sound of a hand ripping through bone could be heard. Kabuto looked down. Orochimaru's fist had gone through his chest. Why? Kabuto said. Orochimaru did not answer as he ripped his heart clean out. Kabuto collapsed, his body hitting the ground. Another shadow moved through the halls. This one dived straight into Kabuto's corpse. The body twitched and writhed, the chest knitting back together, bones recovering. And then it stood. He brushed himself off. This one, he said, touching the face as he removed the glasses, tossing it to the ground like it was nothing. Orochimaru spoke. This one is dark, twisted. It feels nice. Well, this one is weaker. I can sense it. But it shall suffice. Where is he? Kabuto said, looking around. Don't worry. He's coming. Meanwhile, Naruto wandered through the forest. As his mind focused, relaxed, he moved through the trees, calm. He walked with a steady, desolate step, to the point that you could not hear his movements despite the flooring that he was walking on, as he was in a very dense forest. Years of having to be silent in the most loudest places. He sniffed the air as he turned. A man racing through the trees landed down close by. Naruto reached for his weapon, ready to fight. However, a look of realization, recognition in his eyes. The man slowly approached. No, is that really you? Naruto did not move. This man, I know him. Naruto, it's me, Jiraiya. Jiraiya. Memories started to flood in. Naruto gripped his shoulder. You're alive, Jiraiya said, stepping closer. Seeing the marks, the eyes. Jiraiya, Naruto said. You're alive. You're actually alive, Jiraiya said. His smile wide. But Naruto looked at him wrong. His look was unsure, untested. Jiraiya looked at Naruto. It wasn't a look alone, it was a feeling. It's almost like he was a small little rabbit, and there was a massive snake about to unhinge its jaw and devour him. Jiraiya stepped closer. What happened to you? He said, showing no aggression. Finally, Naruto seemed to calm down. A lot. It doesn't matter, said Jiraiya. I'm taking you back home. Naruto said nothing. Jiraiya summoned a toad for faster transport. Given their distance away from the village, it took a while. Throughout it all, Naruto remained silent. Jiraiya thought to himself, the worstest option that he thought, the worstest option that he didn't want. Naruto was tortured. Whatever he went through, it looks like it nearly destroyed him. He did not say a word, he simply followed, sitting on the toad as Jiraiya did. However, Jiraiya did notice a toad flinch when Naruto sat down. Not from a physical blow though, because Naruto barely applied any pressure. They got back to the village as the toad was in a rush to head back to Mount Miyaboku, not giving Jiraiya any, answers to what it felt. "Are you okay?" said Jiraiya, seeing the unsteady look in Naruto's eyes. Slowly, Naruto turned towards him. He looked at the man like he was testing the water, like he was examining a painting that had yet to show him what he desired. But Jiraiya realized he was not going to get any answers. "Come on, let's head inside." If anyone can help him, it was Tsunade. She was the best medical person that he knew. Unless this went far beyond physical wounds. After all, he seemed to be doing fine physically, other than seeming a bit malnourished, Jiraiya thought to himself. As they moved through the streets of Konoha, they did not recognize him. However, just being close by, they could feel that he was dangerous, that he was powerful. Naruto heard their whispers as he was brought straight to the tower. Jiraiya took the door. Tsunade was confused by that. Usually he just hopped through the window, so him coming through the door was something that, it surprised her. What she didn't expect though was for Naruto to step in right after. Taller, change in every single way. Her mouth open wide, shock and surprise, as she couldn't fathom what she was looking at. She got to her feet, hands trembling. "Is that... Naruto, is that you?" she questioned, unable to truly believe if it was him or not, if this was some kind of illusion. Meanwhile though, far away from Konoha as Sasuke was doing his business, aiming to gather his team to seek his revenge, ready to spread the word that Orochimaru was dead. While that was taking place, the new Orochimaru and Kabuto were talking amongst themselves, when suddenly they heard something. Walking down the halls, they heard the footsteps. Yes, they heard the footsteps walking towards them. Someone was hidden. Yes, someone was hidden behind the shadows of the halls as they slowly made their way. "I see everyone made it." The voice came off gruff, yet a very recognizable tone. "So, this is his home. This is his world. I can taste the darkness here. I can taste the violence. And the ones here are so vulnerable, so in the open. It is completely different from our domain." It was a strange laugh, yet so recognizable as the other two. Kabuto and Orochimaru dropped to their knees. Whoever they were looking at, he seemed to be in charge. "The mind of my host has been dead for some time. Despite it though, I was able to sense the reek of power that this vessel alone gave off. The domination. But I lack the history and the knowledge, other than what we learned from the survivor." The other two got to their feet. "We retain a lot, especially me," Orochimaru said. "This one was a smart one. It desired immortality, to live forever. It tortured, manipulated, and used people to its whims. It has so much information. And this one was its underling," he said, pointing towards Kabuto. He stepped forward and placed a hand out. The person took it, as all the knowledge that Orochimaru possessed was transferred. The man opened his eyes shifting from their normal black to a 3-totem Sharingan as he stepped into the open. The face that put many in a coma from just seeing it. The face that made people run terrified in the opposite direction. The name that put people into a frenzy. Madara Uchiha, a man that was supposed to be long dead, stood there. First thing first, said Madara. We shall find the survivor, and we will rip him apart. He may have survived us in there, but out here, we shall reduce him to atoms. The other two smiled as they plotted for the death of the survivor, otherwise known as Naruto Uzumaki. Time skip. The news spread like wildfire. Naruto Uzumaki was back. The one that had vanished, presumed dead. The one that they grieve and mourn. Sakura was the first to arrive. She nearly ripped the door off. Is it true? Is he really? He's here, said Tsunade quietly, her expression unreadable. But Sakura, you need to... Where is he? She said, I need to see him. I need to know that he's okay. Tsunade opened her mouth to respond, but the door burst open. Kiba and Akamaru. Is it true that Naruto is back? Before she could answer, Ino, Choji, Shikamaru, Lee, Tenten, Neji, Kakashi, they all arrived. Shino and Hinata as well. They all wanted answers as they started to speak. Everyone quiet, she said. As she silenced the room, she surveyed the room, her jaw tight. These were his friends, his comrades, those who mourn him, those who search for him, refuse to give up hope. They deserve answers, but she did not have any to give them. Yes, he has returned, but he's not in any condition to be seen right now. He needs time. What do you mean? Sakura said. What happened to him? I don't know yet. Where is he? Ino said. He's taking a shower. He was covered in blood and dirt when Jiraiya brought him in. He requests some privacy to clean himself up. The word hung in the air as Kiba spoke. Whose blood? He questioned. Tsunade did not answer. As Hinata drank in all of that, she stood there. Everything was quiet. He's back. She had many dreams like this. She didn't know how to feel relief, joy, fear. She's gone through so many emotional turmoil, and she wondered if this was just another dream. But as she looked at Tsunade, she could tell that something was wrong. Sakura was having a similar monologue. He was alive. That means Sasuke did not kill him. There was a chance that Team 7 could return. A chance that Team 7 could be what it once was. But they needed answers. Kakashi stood there, his sole focus on the Hokage. He studied every single reaction, studied her movements, knowing that there was something that she was hiding. Meanwhile, he turned the water up to the hottest. It was scalding, yet he did not flinch. It went through his hair. It washed over him. He hasn't had a proper shower in 3+ years. However, his skin was littered with scars. They heal over time though. But the main scar was on his chest. It was like his chest had been torn open. You could see the massive X scar on his chest. His jaw tightened as suddenly the water became blood. Flashes went through his mind. Blood pouring down his face as he laughed, as he drank the blood of his enemies. Flashes kept on going through his mind. Monsters. The darkest of mankind. Shinobis that were twisted by abominations. Things that screech and move in the dark. Nightmares. Naruto's eyes snapped back to reality. He was holding on to the metal piping, and he bent it. As he looked up towards the water and closed his eyes. I'm free, he said to himself. But the memories did not care. He was agitated, he was on edge. He spent a long time inside. Stepping out, he saw a towel and fresh clothing. Clothing that was similar to what he used to wear but, well, larger, to fit his stature. As he dried off and got dressed, leaving the chest area open as he wore the mesh shirt underneath, his hair was still wild. His beard was there. He was supposed to be 16 and yet, he looked like he was around 18. Or maybe 20 or 21. After all, he had a fully grown beard. Jiraiya was waiting outside. You cleaned up well, kid, he said. But the hair and beard, we can fix that. Naruto did not respond. As the water was still dripping off his hair, Jiraiya had him sat down. He had all the necessities. As he started to help Naruto with his hair, Jiraiya didn't want to push it. He wasn't an expert on the mind. You've been through a lot, haven't you? Naruto said nothing. It's okay. You don't need to talk about it now. Just know that we're all here for you. Naruto's eyes flicked up towards the mirror. Thanks, he said. Jiraiya smiled. No problem, kid, he said. Feeling so happy in this moment. Now he looked more like himself but just a lot older. Jiraiya saw the weapon. He seen it earlier. The mere notion of touching it felt wrong. What's that, he said. Yet Naruto did not respond, he simply tucked it away, inside of his shirt. Alright then, Jiraiya said. Meanwhile though, the hallway was packed. They were all there. Jiraiya was the first one that they saw, as everyone was waiting to actually see him before he entered the room with Inoichi and Tsunade. He stepped out. He looked so different, so older. Naruto, Sakura said. Sakura, it's really you. You're back. Sakura did not hesitate though, despite what Tsunade had said. She rushed at him. Her intention was just to hug him though. But something happened. She was lucky that Jiraiya was so close. Sakura blinked as a strange weapon almost took her head off. Jiraiya had gripped Naruto's hand, yet she would have still died. The simple reason was Jiraiya could not physically stop Naruto. Shikamaru, with his quick thinking though, his shadow attaching to Sakura and pulling his own head back, allowing her head to pull back as well. Naruto almost took her head off. Calm down, kid. It's okay, said Jiraiya. This was the exact reason why Tsunade warned them to give him time. Naruto looked at the weapon, his hand and Sakura. He lowered the weapon. Shikamaru released her as she stepped back. Naruto, she said. Come with me, said Jiraiya, as he walked Naruto to the room. Naruto stepped inside, the others turning towards Sakura, all of them confused. Inoichi, he was a specialist. He was inside as Jiraiya closed the door. Tsunade was in there as well. Naruto sat down to his assigned seat. Naruto, we need to ask you some questions. Can you do that for us, Tsunade questioned. Yes. Good. Inoichi. Inoichi stepped forward. Naruto, I'm Inoichi Yamanaka, a specialist in mind, memory, trauma, and mental health. I'm here to help, but I need you to be honest with me. Can you do that? Yes. Let's start simple. Do you remember what happened at the Valley of the End? Yes. Can you tell us? I was fighting Sasuke. My Rasengan clashed with his Shidori. And then, an explosion. Something open. Open? What do you mean? Said Snetty. A vortex. A tear in reality. It pulled me in. Inoichi saw that Naruto was triggered by that event. But it wasn't just fear. There was something that he didn't quite understand about that look in his eyes. Where did it take you? Purgatory. What? Said Snetty. Purgatory, said Naruto. A realm between judgment and damnation. A place where souls are sent to fight for eternity, to survive or to be devoured. Naruto, it's real, he said, looking towards Jiraiya, his expression hard as he looked at the man. In this world, death does not judge, your soul does. Those who kill to protect, those who bled for comrades, those who die clinging on to love or duty, their souls are carried somewhere else, to a restful place. But purgatory is reserved for those that kill because they want to, those who hunt for pleasure, those who torture because they could, those who dominate because they can. Their souls are not forgiven. They either spend the rest of eternity fighting, killing one another, reliving their sins over and over, or the monsters catch you. The monsters? They have many names. Abominations, devourers, creatures of dark, beasts beyond understanding. They hunt us. When they devour a soul, your soul is sent to somewhere much worse. So most prefer the endless fight. Purgatory is a place beyond understanding. The sky, it's always red. The temperature jumping in and out. Even as I sit here, I don't understand the time, Naruto said. What do you mean by that? Inoichi said. I'm not going mad. I'm not insane. Don't treat me like I'm a child, Naruto said, who doesn't understand the world. I fully understand who I am and where I've been. What I don't remember or understand is you people. What? Said Snetty. I've been struggling since I've seen you again, all of you. My body aged at a slow pace because I wasn't dead. I wasn't supposed to be there. The Sage of Sixth Path, the man that gave this world power, chakra, he was the first to tamper with purgatory. He was the first to see the veil. But realizing the horrors inside, he closed it, using the power of the Nine Tails. They were confused. How did Naruto know this? However, Orochimaru, that mark that he gave to Sasuke, Orochimaru dived into some dark elements that he didn't understand when creating that mark. A part of it linked to purgatory energy. That world is not like ours. Chakra is not a thing there. There is no such thing. The energy that corrupt and manipulate the user to come to him, that dark sensation, that feeling, it's a taste of purgatory. When the chakra of the fox and the curse mark clash, it breached the veil just for a moment. And the fox chakra tried to maintain it, but I was sucked in along with it. It sounds crazy, but it is real. In there was no living. There was just surviving. But there was something else about it. It felt pure, Naruto said. Inoichi saw the look on Naruto's face. How long were you in Purgatory for? The question might sound stupid to others. It's been 3.5 years, but Inoichi saw it. Naruto saw that the man catch on. The reason I'm struggling with all of you is because, while it's only been a few years for you, and while my body only has aged a few years, time became obsolete in Purgatory. I've stopped searching to return back to the elemental nation a long time ago. Now Tsunade understood why he looked at her like he was looking at a stranger. Why he seemed to struggle when he speak. However, sitting down and truly thinking about the past seemed to be resurrecting some memories. Thus Inoichi questioned, how did you get out? How did you return? Naruto opened his mouth. He gripped his hand. He started to scream, Tsunade instantly moving towards him. Jiraiya trying to calm him down. Stay back. But they did not listen. I said stay back! His shirt exploded off him. The strange mark on his shoulder spread. An unnatural force launching him towards the opposite wall. The table was blasted, Inoichi jumping out of the way. A residual energy exploded out from Naruto. He gripped his shoulder trying to keep himself contained. He literally slammed his head into the ground, cracking it. The pavement, that is. His skull seeming to be much more durable than your average skull. As Naruto looked up, they're here, he said. Meanwhile, in the ruins of Orochimaru base, the Orochimaru thing smile. He's back in his village. The Kabuto thing laugh. How touching. Madara Uchiha, their leader, smile. Let him settle. Let him believe that he's safe. Given how much he's put us through, he's managed to do something that no other across the history of any time has ever been able to accomplish. And for that, we shall ensure that his demise will not be easy. He will suffer pain beyond normal understanding of the concept itself. Madara said. Back at Konoha, Anvu's rushed inside. I'm not trying to harm any of you, said Naruto, as he got to his feet. What the hell was that, said Jiraiya. It's not me, Naruto said, looking at his shoulder. How did you get back, Inoichi said. I didn't. Inoichi realized that was a big part of all of this. As he saw it, at first he didn't understand it, but Naruto didn't want to be here. Not in this room, but not in the elemental nation. When he spoke of Purgatory, when he called it pure, he accepted that it was his home a long time ago. Then how, Inoichi said, that's not important. What is important is, I wasn't the only one that came here. What does that mean? Said Tsunade. It means the hunt is not over, said Naruto as he drew for his blade. The strange energy pulsating through it. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm over now. Peace.